Hi everyone, and welcome back to this comprehensive video series covering all things 3D modelling in Clip Studio Paint. If you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, please check them out so you can catch up with us. And with that being said, let's continue. So that sums up the 3D drawing figure category. Let's get our guy back to the middle. There we go. Strong, tall, strapping young man. So the next category that is unique to the human 3D models is the pose category. So under the pose heading, we've got these 4 icons. 3 of them are on here and we've already discussed them. So if we move this and then we select either there or there, it's just going to revert to the T pose. This flips the model just down here as well. This one is the extract pose from a photo, the one that I said don't bother using because it barely ever works. And this one's unique. So this one brings up your pose gallery. I simply use the materials window over here for anything that I need to drag on. I will show you an example of a pose in this library. So we've got a running pose. All you have to do is drag it onto the model, and you have to always drag it onto the model because if you don't, it'll just place a new model on the canvas. Joint angle limit is a blessing and a curse. It basically means in a normal human body, your joints can only move a certain way. So by ticking this, the model will only move in that sort of way as well. However, it can limit you even when you're trying to get anatomically correct pose. If you click on it twice, you will only be able to move it that amount. But sometimes you might want to uncheck that if you want to get an extreme pose. Sometimes they're not anatomically correct, but they look correct, if that makes any sense. So sometimes if you have a model like standing like this doesn't look normal to me because it's very stiff and rigid. That's all that is. So if you find that you can't bend a joint correctly or further than you need, then that's probably the issue, and you can just uncheck that and pretty much go wild. We can go all the way back. Youch. Might be good for broken limbs to be able to bend it in ways you can't bend. This is these, so this will lock the joint. The joint of the foot won't move. And then we can release it. These are those 2 that we discussed earlier. These 3 are found here. And they just register the pose. So as you saw before when I grabbed these poses, this is where they will be saved. I've made my own folder because I like to be organized myself, but let's just say I want to save this pose. I already have it, but let's just show what you can do with this. So I want to save the full body. So I select it and this window will pop up. You name it and you choose the folder. You can add tags if you want. If you save a square JPEG of the pose and you select it, it will become the icon for that pose, so you'll be able to see it. So let's just use a timetable as an example. See, that will become the icon. And that's how that usually works. This is a little difficult to use, I would say. You can click and drag in here and it will manipulate the hands. If we go towards there, they'll go very flat, like knife hands. We go over to here, they will be spaced out. Go down here, they will be closed, like clenched fist. And if you drag it down here, you can change the kind of fist that is created. I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see that properly. Be nice. So the fist itself is changing depending on what icon we choose. It's a good way to get the base pose for the hand. So if you know you want to pose a hand in an open way like this, and you can play around with it until you get there and then manipulate them one by one if you need to. Or we can lock the fingers. So now we're only manipulating the thumb. See? You can also lock the thumb and get the index finger. There we go, like an OK symbol. A-OK. Very poorly done. I never use this. That's just my preference. You might find it's fantastic for you and more power to you. I like to manipulate them joint by joint. I know that's a real painstaking task. I bet it just gives the best results. Hi guys, sorry for the interruption, but if you're enjoying this video and it's helping you, please give it a like and a share so others can find it. What helped you might help someone else. If you could also subscribe, that'd be great too. There'll be plenty of videos in this series, so click that big black button below so you don't miss a single one. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comment section below and I'll answer them as best I can. Also, there are plenty of actual hand poses available just for the hands, and the way you put a hand pose on a hand is you have to click model and then click it again. If we just click on the pose once, you'll get the base joints, the 6 basic joints. Click on any joint again and you'll get the box. So let's open up poses for hands, and I want a natural pose. Close this just for now. And so I want this one, and I'm going to just drag it on there. And now I've got more of a natural pose. And if you'll notice, the other one hasn't changed. If you want both hands to be the same, all you got to do is just click on the model until you get to the joints, and then you can drag it straight on, and they will both change. So if you want just one hand to change, click the hand and it'll change. Let's do a fist so we can really see the difference here. So the right hand is a fist and the other isn't. If we click just on the body and we drag, let's say we're holding a drink bottle, they both change. So that's the trick on how to put a hand pose onto a model. Very useful. Oh, now that I've got this available. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the body, and then you've got this one. And this is just the eyesight. So you can drag this and they will look at whatever you need. Whoa, weird neck. Ben's looking pretty rough there. Or you can just drag it down. He'll look down. Across, he'll look away. So if you actually have another model here, let's do that actually. Let's get a woman. We can drag her on perspective onto the ruler. Turn her around. And we'll put her over here. So if you want your character to be looking at this person, you can literally drag the ball right where the person is. And we can do the same with this girl. So they're both looking at each other now, perfectly looking at each other. I'm going to quickly show you what the difference is between the women model. I think we're going to say goodbye to Ben for now. Bye, Ben. And we're going to introduce Sally. I'm going to get her to a regular. Turn her around, get her light better, so we can see her clearer. And we're going to zoom in and we can see her a bit better. So we're going back to drawing figure. So now I will show you the difference. We're going to give her a bit of a bust. She's a busty lady and an ass. See, the muscle mass doesn't change. She gets big boobs and a big butt. And then you can go completely flat, which is usually, that could be a teenager or a child, completely androgynous. And then we got, let's go back. You can go super skinny. Again, very childlike, I would say, or malnourished. And we can also go overweight. Again, the weight one isn't very good. That's not how fat hangs off the body. It's not a very good model for fat. The hips can go a little wider. Again, sometimes the model may look funny. That's a funny looking model. However, these are just guides, so you can make this actually look good for a wide-hipped lady. So I can have a little bit more. So yeah, her hips look ridiculous right now, let's be honest. However, you got to remember these are just guides, and I can make that look normal by drawing it myself. Might actually give her boobs a bit more. And I'll tone down the waist just a tad, the hips just a tad. There we go. There's a more, I would say, accurate woman figure. The typical, if you want to call it that. I don't look I'm more like a rectangle. I don't have any hips. Okay, so There's the slight differences for the women model. Head size for an adult woman can range from 6 to 7.5, maybe even 8. Again, it depends on the height, so let's go a smaller lady. 6 just looks a little too big, so I'm going to put 7 in and see what we got. That looks a bit more natural. However, if I had my height and we put an 8, it wouldn't look as weird at all, in my opinion. And let's see, 9 is probably pushing it. Yeah, the girl would probably have to be taller to make that work. Yep, see? But if you've got a lady who's 180 centimeters tall, then it's going to fit fine. It just depends on height. When it comes to head-body ratio, you can just tick this and it will do it automatically. I think I forgot to mention this actually. You can reset all of these or one at a time. So if you don't like the hips or the waist, I don't know why they call it waist. The waist is up here. You can just reset it or return the legs. We can reset those. And if we want the entire thing to return to the default model, just go initial body shape. The next category is manga perspective. This requires a pose. So let's get our pose library up and let's do something extreme like that. Yeah, like that. It's like breakdancing or parkour. And manga perspective, you can still use the perspective of the camera with the scroll, remember? So we can make that like very far out. That would look cool. That would. But if we return that to normal and we go to manga perspective, we turn that on. It's just a little stronger and it exaggerates size of hands and feet, I think, a bit more. So you can use it doubly with the perspective. So if we do that, we go down here, maybe that would be cool. You can see that is pretty wild. You've got the foreshortening aspect to it. So we go very extreme, very flat. And there we go. And that's it for this video, so please subscribe so you don't miss the next one. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comments section below and I'll answer them as best I can. Don't forget to like and share, and thank you for watching. Bye!